Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yeah.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has those game records.
Let's go!
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends where you're watching from, but we have the best spot in town, Circa Resort and Casino here on Fremont Street. We have made it to Las Vegas. We covered the women's game last night. We're going to tell you about that. The men's tournament starts tomorrow, and what a better spot to broadcast from all week than Stadium Swim here at Circa Resort and Casino. 6 pools, 143-foot screen. They've got soccer on. They've got basketball on. We got the Big 12 tournament going on. Baylor and Arizona State. Jay Tust is probably up money already. We got all kinds of different games on. I guess Jay can't bet now. He's an employee at Boise State. I forgot about that. So we got all kinds of games on. I think the ACC tournament is starting. Fans are arriving. It's going to be an unbelievable week here at Stadium Swim at Circa Resort and Casino. Cannot wait to see you out here. Come join us. Make this your spot. What a view from our broadcast here. BJ Rains joining you live. You got the games on in the background. I mentioned conference tournament action, spring training baseball. Maybe they knew I was coming out here. They got the Cardinals Mets is the one spring training game on today. I don't know, but appreciate Derek Stevens and everybody at Circa for having us. Excited for a great week. Going to be beautiful weather here covering the Mountain West tournament. Heartbreak for the women last night. The men, they arrive this evening. They'll get going tomorrow night in the 4th game of the day. We'll show you the bracket. We'll show you the odds. We'll show you all the particulars that you need to know for the tournament, which again starts tomorrow. But thanks again, Aaron Oster, everybody at Circa, Wilbo, David, the whole crew, and of course, as I said, Derek Stevens, the owner of this place. If you're looking for a spot to come watch the tournament, you need to make it Circa Resort and Casino. It's an unbelievable spot. Anytime you're looking to come have a couple days with the wife, it's 21 and up, so you can't bring the kids, unfortunately. But out here at the pool, 6 pools. You got the bars. You got the cabanas. Going to be a lot of fun all week. Looking forward to it. And also going to be a lot of fun all week with our man Jay Tust. He's been down here for a couple days already with Bronco Studios. There's Jay Tust. Bronco Studios doing tremendous work on all the shows and things. And Jay, appreciate you on Tuesday for making it work with the time change here. But a lot going on. Tough one for the women last night, but looking forward to the men's game tomorrow, and looking forward to maybe an appearance from Jay Tust at some point out here at Stadium Swim.
Oh, man, what a beautiful backdrop. How about the fact that we have nice weather during the Mountain West tournament? It's been a couple of years, I feel like.
It has. I think we had the one year, I think we had a huge gathering, 150 people RSVP'd. It was going to be awesome. We had this whole area reserved, and then Boise State lost the first round the night before, and then it rained and was like 40 degrees, and it was about the worst party we could have had. So, yes, not a cloud in the sky. I mean, I shouldn't even be wearing these long sleeves. I'm already sweating up here. But it's a beautiful day. And you're right, man. Typically it's cold and it's cloudy and it's rainy, but not a cloud in the sky or expected all week here at Circa and Stadium Swim and Las Vegas in general, man.
Yeah, it's been that way since we got into town on Saturday, got here just in time for the women's first round game against San Jose, excuse me. And, man, what a fun first couple of days. That was a really cool basketball team to cover. And unfortunately, it came to an end in rather heartbreaking fashion, but I'm not going to lie, BJ, usually that's the way that if your season comes to an end this time of year, that's usually the case. It's the time of year where if you lose, you might not have a tomorrow as a team. And I feel bad that it ended the way that it ended for the Boise State women's basketball team, but a lot not to be lost. An incredible year, 25-9, 25 wins, BJ, tied for the second most in school history. So it was a big year for Gordy Presnell and his program.
Folks are asking if I partied it up last night. If that counts, hanging out with Jay Tust and Chris Coots in the media room, then yeah, we really partied it up last night, Jay. But got into town, got checked in, made it over there. You've been covering this team the last couple of days, Jay. You were here from the start of the tournament on Saturday. They get a couple wins. They get to the semifinals. And by the way, we are going to talk plenty about the men. 90% of the show is going to be about the men. Don't worry. But we do want to give the women a little bit of love here to kick off the show because it's the most newsworthy in them playing last night. And like I said, Jay, they get a nice, the bracket falls their way. San Diego State, the number 1 seed, loses. You're feeling pretty good about Boise State and how they sit coming into that game last night. But Air Force, just one of those teams that I don't know if quite ready to call them a team of destiny yet. They have one more game to go, but under 500 on the season. I think they were 7-13 in conference play, but they've got a heck of a guard, one of the best players in the conference that's kind of, I think, already tied the tournament record for points and still has a game to go here. But I've got the last second play. I'll show it here in a second, but it all looked good, man. The bracket falls the way they want. You're thinking Gordy Presnell doing Gordy Presnell things. They win on the late shot the night before, and then here they are in the semifinals, and just kind of a weird game, back and forth game. They'd get up a few, get down a few, never really could take control of the game. Only took 3 3-pointers the entire game for one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. Dominated inside, but as we're going to show here in a second, a tough finish. But just overall, any other thoughts?
Yeah, it's wild. The defensive game plan that Air Force came with, as you mentioned, Boise State has been one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country all season long, right? They only attempt 3 threes in the entire game. Of their 49 total field goal attempts, 35 are right at the rim, with Stat Broadcast qualified as a layup. And unfortunately, it just, the defensive game plan by Air Force was a good one. They were a physical team that they came out on top last night. They do have one of the most dynamic guards in the Mountain West Conference. And, even before the game, the day prior, Gordy Presnell said that that's who he voted as for his Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. And so now you have the 9 seed against the 3 seed in the Mountain West Conference Tournament Championship game for the women, because Colorado State also upset UNLV yesterday in the late game. And now you're probably going to look at this one, in all honesty, I mean, it as a little bit of a missed opportunity. As great as the season was, and It was an awesome year, especially after they started 1-3 in Mountain West Conference play. And from that moment on, they were one of the best teams in the league by far. But they made a couple of mistakes yesterday, or even more so than that, they just didn't capitalize on some opportunities. And I think we saw that, we were accustomed to watching this veteran team do that all season long. And unfortunately, they just come up a little bit short of their ultimate goal, which is coming down here, winning, and getting back to the NCAA women's basketball tournament.
Couple missed free throws late on both sides, and they had a tough 5-second call where they couldn't get the ball in bounds with about 30 seconds to go, I think. And Coach Gordy Presnell said he was trying to call timeout. The refs seemed to be standing right in front of him, but they didn't get the call. That was a tough turnover. They were actually down 6, made a nice comeback with a couple defensive stops to get it to 2. Couldn't quite get the lead, and then they're down 1. They get to the free throw line, Jay. Air Force does with 10.9 seconds to go. Air Force makes the first free throw to go up by 2, and then let's pick it up from here. Just what were you seeing here on this last play? Again, down 2 as Air Force goes to the line for the second free throw here.
For a team that really showed so much composure because of their experience, unfortunately, they, like I said, just a missed opportunity. And right now it's a 2-point game with 10.9 left. As you said, BJ, they got one of the best players in the Mountain West at the free throw line, and she actually rolls this thing off the rim. So Libby Hutton grabs it, gets it into the front court. Danny Bays attacks to try to tie the game. Unfortunately, she misses, but they get the offensive rebound. And, well, that's where the missed opportunities were. You either got to go back up with it, or if you kick it back out, you have to fire immediately.
Yeah, no doubt. And I talked to Libby Hutton after the game and had a heck of a game, 25 points and 7 rebounds. So certainly not putting this thing on her. But, if you had, I get it, Jay, time's coming down. You don't know how much time's left. Everyone's screaming. Your season's on the line. But if she was dominating inside. If she would have just turned and put that thing back up, there's a chance you tie the game and it goes to overtime there. And just, you said, unfortunately, that's going to be a possession that's going to stick with her until the first game of next season. But unfortunately, Jay, that the seniors going to stick with them a lot longer. You see the pain, the angst, the frustration, the disappointment. Like you said, 1 minute you're a couple seconds, one shot away from going to the championship. The next thing you know, there's Air Force celebrating, and Boise State is headed home. Just unbelievably kind of, sports isn't fair sometimes, Jay. And the finish for this senior class for these girls just doesn't necessarily seem fair in this case. A tough finish to a heck of a career and a heck of a season.
Yeah, Maya Hansen, Natalie Pasco, Danny Bays, Tatum Thompson. We're talking about 4 of the most productive players in school history. And I know that we have mentioned this a number of times, BJ, but considering the era of college sports that we're in right now, to have 4 players talented enough to go over 1,000 points in their career, and for each of them to score every single one of those points at Boise State is, dude, it's going to be rare. I obviously there's something that Gordy Presnell is doing that is special, but to be able to keep that type of nucleus together for that long and see that type of production, that's special, man.
Yeah. Well, 25 wins, 9 losses. We'll see if the WBIT comes calling, but that's probably the end for the Boise State women to their season. Tough finish for them, but again, 25 wins and kind of set that standard, and means a day off today, Jay, for at least the Boise fans, Boise everybody. Not a day off, but no game today. We were expecting to cover the championship tonight. Unfortunately, that's not happening. Now the men's tournament will get going tomorrow, but heck of a season for the women, and another congratulations to them and Gordy, and with Libby Hutton and then some of the other players that got some experience, Jay. They're going to it's going to be a new look roster, no doubt. They're going to have to go find some players, but I think they kind of reestablished that standard this year, and I'm excited to kind of see where this program moves going into next year.
This is a team, BJ, that was number 2 in the country in team grade point average. They were also, top 2 in the country for most of the year in team 3-point field goal percentage. Again, 25 wins, tied for the second most in school history, and 4 seniors that have been model student athletes over these last 4 years. It's tough to see it come to an end, but even amongst the devastation or the agony of defeat that we all get to experience at times in March Madness, it shouldn't be lost on everything they accomplished. So we'll see. Libby Hutton's a great player to build it around, and we'll see if the great Gordy Presnell can do it again.
All right, we're live here at Stadium Swim, Circa Resort and Casino. Let's talk about the men. They get going with 4 games tomorrow in the Mountain West Tournament, and we want to thank a couple sponsors before we do that. Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor. Jim Sturk and Company, we appreciate him for his support of Bronco Nation News. And, again, if you're looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle, Lithia Ford of Boise has you covered. Check them out online, lithiafordboise.com. Sun Cruisers, they're flowing here at the pool. Great beverage for the pool, great beverage to go golfing with, watching the game with, whatever you're looking for, whether it's the iced tea vodkas, the lemonade vodkas, so many different flavors. And down here at Circa is where I first heard about it, to be honest. So they're a big partner and a big deal down here at Circa, and perfect beverage to watch some basketball this week. Pick up a Sun Cruiser at your local gas station or grocery store. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, Pearson Carmichael's got to deal with them. They had Natalie Pasco as well. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com, the best in the business. If you're looking to switch your bank, you don't realize what you're missing until you jump over to ICCU. Prater said that. I've said that. A lot of other folks have said that. You kind of just have your own bank that your parents signed you up for, you started with, and you've never switched. Make the switch to ICCU. You'll find out in a big way why they are the best in the business. And they donated $25 to the Idaho Youth Sports Commission for every made free throw this season. So they're raising thousands of dollars, and they help so many different charitable causes and local high schools and building scoreboards and video boards and things. So return the favor, folks. Make the switch. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Hopefully you took advantage yesterday of the Jacksons deal. The Broncos got 75 on Saturday against Colorado State. That meant you got a 75-cent fountain drink from Jackson's. Just type in that Let's Go Rewards phone number, and that's going through the end of the season. So tomorrow, if the Broncos can get 75 points against San Jose, you can get a 75-cent fountain drink from Jackson's 2 days later. Again, Jackson's, we appreciate them. Don't forget that Let's Go Rewards app, and don't forget 99-cent coffee or hot chocolate anytime, day or night. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com, the crunchy chicken cantina taco. Tremendous. Tried it myself. My kids had it. They love it. Johnny was spot on with his recommendation. Visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. We appreciate the Estona Management Group, the Nicolason family, whether it's the breakfast quesadillas, I mentioned the cantina tacos, all the great options at Taco Bell. Visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. And if you're coming down today, our man Nathan Carroll, Abe Jackson, Bob, I think, the Atkinsons, the Keens, a lot of folks, Jay, it's a star-studded flight getting ready to leave Boise to head down to the tournament. You need that gear before you go. Get to the Blue and Orange store. They got the location there at the Hall of Fame. They got the location at the Boise Town Square Mall. Or you can order anywhere in the world online at theblueandorangestore.com. Again, the best selection, the best prices, Boise State tournament gear. Get it at the Blue and Orange Store. All right, Jay, we're not quite there yet, but we've reached that time where the sun is just pounding on my laptop here. So for some reason, you know how that goes, man. It's not quite as bad as like a football pregame show, but if I disappear for a second, I may retreat into the shade and you may have to carry it here. But we're, like you said, not used to dealing with that down here. Usually I've got a winter coat on and it's 40 degrees or whatever. So we're gonna battle through. But Jay, seeing some of the teams and the fans, and just saw a guy walk by in a Gonzaga hat and shirt for the game tonight. But just being down here and walking around. By the way, it looks like you've upgraded from the KTVB days at the Hooters Hotel. But nice room there. But it just you're starting to get that feel. I mean, being here covering the women's tournament the last couple days, watching those WCC semifinals last night. After saw that second one after we got back from covering the women's game, but. Nothing better, man. Vegas for the tournament, all these conference tournaments. It sounds like the Pac-12 is going to keep the tournament here in Vegas, which is great to hear. But before we dive in specifically to the matchups and the bracket and the odds and all that, just what a time of year to be down here, man. And it's a lot of fun that we get paid to do this.
Conference tournament week in Las Vegas is awesome. I mean, I turned on a game this morning and as I was just kind of like editing a video, right? And there's always basketball on, especially when you're here this early in the week. And I'm sure that the NCAA tournament is also phenomenal in Las Vegas. But I happen to enjoy conference tournament week because then if you do have extra time, which I don't know if we necessarily will this time around, but in the past I was able to jump over and watch, some of the Pac-12 tournament when, my Cougs were back in the alma mater was in the league back in the day, and I guess they will be again here soon. But it's an awesome week, and as you can see right here, go experience Stadium Swim because that experience is also second to none, and it just kind of feels like family when you walk through those doors. I'm not gonna lie,
it really does, dude. I'm not lying. When in the large scheme of things, when you talk about the shows they have come out here, Jay, and all this stuff, like I'm a nobody out here, like BNN, like we can joke whatever, whatever, but like when it all like they have had like some very big national radio shows and podcasts and things that come out here, and in the large scheme of things, BNN is pretty low on the totem pole. But I would say in the 20 minutes that I was out here setting up, I had 10 different people from the the security staff, the maintenance staff. Do you have what you need? Do you have good chairs? Do you have good tables? Like, even had the guy down at the bar. I don't know if I should say this. It's like the bartender at the big main Stadium Swim bar remembers me as the podcast guy from Boise and was like all about it. And even like, oh, you got to go put a Sun Cruiser up there for your show. Not opened, but we do have a prop for the table here that maybe will get used at some point after the show. But I mean, they're just so nice here, and it is really cool. Like, Derek Stevens, they deal with $1 million companies, whatever. But like I've always said this, from the janitor all the way up to the owner, it is a pretty cool spot here. And so if folks are looking for places to come, get out to Circa. It really is a cool. I mean, I know I say it, Jay, but like how crazy is it that those guys got in a private jet and came and watched a football game on the Blue just because they like sports fans and they're cool and wanted to support Boise State and kind of return the favor a little bit for a lot of the fans that have stayed here. So hoping we can keep the relationship going as they move into the Pac-12. But this place truly is pretty crazy. I'll just say that.
Well, I mean, I know that John Canzano, when we chatted with him a few weeks ago, he was he seems to think that the Pac-12 tournament will stay in Las Vegas, as you just said too there, BJ. So that certainly gets my vote. It's an easy plane trip, and as you said, it's pretty easy to stay here these days too.
Yeah,
where we're staying, we're super close to the arena, and that's pretty favorable for us, I'd have to say. But the conference tournament's awesome, and hopefully it does stay down here so that we can just continue the routine, I guess.
Yeah, and I even had players' parents. I won't say the player, but a player on the team's dad reach out saying, "Hey, want to get some parents of the team over on Thursday to hang out and watch games out at the pool." So I mean, you never know who you might see out here hanging out and watching games. And if the pool's not cool enough, Jay, I mean, you've been inside for live shots and stuff. It's the world's largest sports book inside as well. I mean, you come out of your hotel room to come down to find some coffee or an energy drink, and you look up and it's, there's already at 8 a.m., a Big Ten quarterfinal game going on tomorrow or whatever. And it's just the indoor world's it's one thing about Derek Stevens. This place doesn't have the spa or the comedy club or some of the stuff that some of the hotels have. It is really built around sports and the world's largest sports book. With that said, Jay, the odds for the Mountain West tournament, these are up to I would say the last hour or so. These are the odds from Circa Sports to win the Mountain West tournament. Circa Sports, you can come here and bet on this. And I would say if you're a Boise State fan, they've got better odds, I would say worse odds, better for you to win money here at Circa than some other places. Maybe that's how much they love Boise State fans. They're just giving you extra plus 150, plus 200 on your odds here. But, Jay, you look at this, and Utah State, the favorite to win this tournament, they are the 1 seed. But San Diego State, New Mexico, Grand Canyon. How about Nevada, the number 5 seed? They're all the way down with the 7th best odds at plus 2,500. Boise State's one of the kind of 5 teams they give somewhat of a legitimate chance to, and then there's a huge jump to plus 1,900 with Colorado State. But again, Circa Sports, these odds are within the last hour. What stands out to you here about this the tournament and the favorites here, Jay?
The fact that every team playing in the opening round is plus 1,900 or worse, except for Boise State, whose odds are less than half of that. So, I mean, we talk about this, and clearly there's some belief in the Broncos. And I always joke there's a lot of bright lights in Las Vegas for a reason. So they know what they're doing down here, and they clearly think that. Apparently, they clearly think the Broncos have more than a puncher's chance. I mean, you look at the fact that GCU has a bye, and there's really not that much of a difference in the odds between the Lopes and the Broncos.
Yeah, and they do obviously give New Mexico a better chance than Boise State, and that's what the matchup could be in the quarterfinals. But we were talking about this last night. We did another night in the Mountain West show with Jeff Grammer and Tom Moser, and we had Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated pop on. Dan Dickow popped on, who's done a lot of games. But I'd be curious to look back at previous odds going into the tournaments, Jay. I mean, 160 for the favorite, and then you got to go all the way to plus 400 for the second place team. We've talked about this as being a weird year and not as deep as it's been, but a lot of teams that feel like they could win it. Do you think this is, similar proportionally than what we've seen, or does it, is plus 400 for the second place team, or even plus 160 for the favorite? I mean, that seems like a pretty big favorite for Utah State. I'm curious how this would compare to previous years.
Yeah, that's a good question, man.
Is like the second place team usually in the plus 400 range? I don't know. That seems a little high.
I don't really think so. I think it's usually about maybe closer to half that, like somewhere like 225 or something like that. But even odds aside, BJ, like I know that that's what we're looking at right now. But I mean, just even odds aside, you look at the teams that kind of finished at those top 3 spots in the league, and they are clearly all capable of winning this weekend. So nobody needs to twist my words here, but I would also say like they haven't played their best basketball these last couple of weeks. It seemed like they they might have peaked a couple of weeks ago, and that doesn't mean they can't do it again this week in Las Vegas. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is if you go to kind of the middle of the league, whether it be Boise State, a Colorado State, I'd probably even throw UNLV in there a little bit. It feels like those are teams that have played pretty well as of late. UNLV they're a little bit more of a roller coaster, but if you told me that Gibbs Lawhorn, goes on a 4-game run where he scores 130 points and gives UNLV a chance in their home city, that would not shock me. Like I just feel like the tournament this year it's up for grabs, and the league doesn't get the credit that it has in years past of being a 4, 5, even a 6 bid league. That's just not the case this year. But that doesn't mean this tournament is not going to be damn competitive. And if anything, it might be more competitive than in years past, because even if you're Utah State, I don't know how comfortable you feel right now on Selection Sunday. Like I think you feel pretty good about things, but like you don't want to give the committee a chance to put you in Dayton or maybe even leave you all out together. So it feels like everybody's coming down here thinking they got to win this thing in order to extend their season the way that they really want to, and that's in the NCAA tournament. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what do you think? Like, I'm not like I'm predicting Nevada is going to go win this thing, but man, I saw Camper in Boise go for 30 whatever, and that guy would scare me at a tournament like this.
Well, I mentioned it being hot, by the way, Jay, but the iPhone's got the dreaded temperature thing here, so I've got to. I'm trying to hide it under the table or something here to see what time it is and make sure I didn't get any texts. I wanted to talk about that Senate hearing later but my notes are on my phone and I can't get it right now, so we'll see. But you know what? It's like I said, Jay, I cannot remember a tournament. I mean, what is it? 20 bids the last 4 years, last 5 years, something like that for this team, for the NCAA tournament. So I mean, there's been in most years 3, 4, 5 of these teams feel pretty good about getting into the tournament. The fact that Utah State is probably the only team that's at all feeling really good about themselves right now. I mean, you got to go like the New Mexico, San Diego, the states of the world are like, they're in some of the next 4 outs. They're not even in the first 4 outs in some of the brackets you look at. So,
Lunardi did throw Boise State back on the bubble.
I saw that. I mean, God, it's where, and I even said, like, I almost like sarcastically made a big deal about it on Twitter, and then I was like, you know what, like, it's not worth it. It's not.
Well, at what point in time, there's always been like the first 4 out, and then at some point in time we said, hey, let's get a next 4 out.
Yeah.
And then now we have even the little fine print below where we throw 4 more teams on that graphic.
Or something. Yeah, and the problem with
there's no way, BJ, like real quick, unless you are. You're so basically the 12th team out, would that be the 12th team out of the tournament, unless you're playing in the Big Ten where you get to go through Michigan State, Michigan, and Purdue or something. There's no way you can jump from 12 spots out into the field. Like that's just like, that's why it's kind of silly.
No, it's
late in the season to even put that on there.
And we've noted plenty of times, Jay, they don't seem to care too much about what happens in the Mountain West tournament in terms of seeding. I mean, there was that one year Boise State got 3 quad 1 wins by winning the tournament, and they were lower than some projections had them going into the tournament in terms of the seeding. So I think your resume is pretty much done come Thursday, Friday, and then they have to adjust if there's bid stealers and stuff. But I don't think they're going, oh, you know what, we had them on Thursday night as a 7 seed, but they got another quad 1 win. Let's make them a 6. I personally feel like there's a lot of evidence that most of that kind of stuff has already been decided by Thursday or Friday. There's just too much to do, too many teams to rank. Obviously, like I said, they'll change it for some bid stealers and things and bump a team out. I mean, the 1-11 quad 1 record for UNC last year, and they get in over a team like Boise State, still is frustrating to some. But I will say this, Jay, like you look at, and we were talking to somebody about this, and I don't remember if it was on the record, off the record, so I'm not going to say who it was, but you look at San Diego State and New Mexico's resume and line it up with Boise State's, like, it's really not that different. I know, like, the Hawaii Pacific loss is going to loom over everything, and yes, that is a game they look at, whatever. But in terms of Boise State sweeping New Mexico, Boise State going 1-1 against San Diego State, like, I don't think those teams are getting in either, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not that surprised that Boise State has now popped back into the area with those teams, because on paper, I don't think there's that much difference.
I mean, yeah, there really isn't that much difference. It doesn't feel like, especially when you look at BJ, who's got the best shot of the at-large, maybe outside of Utah State, like San Diego State and New Mexico?
I would guess San Diego State just because they're San Diego State.
And New Mexico?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they have a great shot. I'm just saying who's got the best. Like, it would probably be San Diego State and New Mexico, and Boise State went 3-1 against those teams.
Yep.
And, so they have similar records. Yeah, but either way, like, honestly, it's just a conversation. We're all just splitting hairs because any team outside of Utah State, and again, I might even throw Utah State into that mix, probably feels like they want to come here and win just to control their level of comfort on Selection Sunday. Like, I think Utah State gets in, but like I've seen what the committee has done at times to Mountain West tournament or Mountain West teams, and it's not always favorable. So even if you're Utah State, you want to make sure you can control things. And that's why, like I said, man,
now
I really think like 1 through 8, if they play their best basketball, and I feel even weird about throwing Colorado State in there, but they just won 9 straight and went on the road and won in the pit. Like, if you can do that,
So
you should be able to give anybody a game on a neutral court here.
We're saying no to this, right? Someone's asking,
No.
would getting into the championship game give them an at-large shot?
Unfortunately, no. Like in years past, I would love to say yes, but
and are they one of the best 68 teams? Could this team go and win a tournament game? Like, I'm not going to say no to that.
I agree. Like,
unfortunately, just too much damage to the resume earlier in the season.
Because even if they run the table and lose in the title game, you're still looking at a 23-12 team out of the Mountain West, and unfortunately, that's just
Mountain West. A lot of people just said hasn't been that great this year.
It's not going to be good enough. It's not. And I wish, like I wish it was. And as you said, BJ, like, man, when this team plays as good as they can, I absolutely think they could win an NCAA tournament game or two. But they've been a little too inconsistent this year. That being said, they've also won 5 straight. They're the hottest team in the league if you want to go off winning streaks.
Yeah.
And they just went and absolutely pummeled Colorado State in Fort Collins, a team that at the time had the longest winning streak in the Mountain West Conference. So I don't know, man.
Dan Dickow and Kevin Sweeney last night on our show, New Mexico was their pick to win the whole thing.
New Mexico?
Yeah, both of them did. No surprise, yeah.
Huh.
Well,
all right.
in our remaining time here, I want to dive into Boise State specifically in this matchup with San Jose State and where we think they have an advantage here in the final.
I got a fun stat for you.
All right, I got a couple stats for folks as well, but I do want to thank Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, do what the Raines family did. Go with Matt Bauscher. You will not be disappointed. Again, BauscherRealEstate.com. You need a new roof? Signature Roofing has you covered. MySignatureRoofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, check out MySignatureRoofing.com. All your roofing needs, MySignatureRoofing.com. Hit them up, folks. They're ready to help you today. Hey, you need a fence? Element Fencing. Perfect time with the weather back in Boise being, unseasonably warm for much of the winter. Cedar, wrought iron, vinyl, whether it's a pergola, deck, fence, they can do it all. If you're on the fence about that next fencing project, now's the time, folks. Element Fencing, elementfencing.com. Ridley's Family Markets, 13 locations, state of Idaho, surrounding states. You want that family-friendly atmosphere, just that feel when you walk into a Ridley's that, it's a support. You're supporting local. You're supporting a family-owned business. That's Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com. Check them out. Again, Treasure Valley, Magic Valley, McCall, surrounding states as well. Ridley's Family Markets. Hey, rowpaint.com, 20% off those winter painting projects. Now's the time if you're looking to get that winter painting project done. Get it done at rowpaint.com. 20% off interior, exterior painting, as well as the concrete coatings and that world-famous Painter for a Day project as well. Hit them up at rowpaint.com. And if you need a new job, how about transportation to compliance service? If you want to get into the trucking industry, they can help you every step of the way. DOT, overweight, all the permits, everything you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Again, transportation compliance service. Check them out online at transcomservice.com. Jay, I don't know if you can hear it or not in my microphone. They got Thunderstruck blasting in the background here. Folks are getting excited. We now have multiple the Mets are up 5-1 on my cards. Good thing I didn't bet on that. I was amazed, man. Spring training baseball, the list of odds and things, you have to just be an absolute sicko, which both of us are at times when it comes to sports gambling. But to bet on spring training baseball when a lot of these players are at the World Baseball Classic and not even there, and you don't know who's pitching, and they go 3 innings. It's unbelievable. But 5-1, the Mets are up right now on the Cardinals. But I saw that Pitt, who is Pitt playing here? Pitt against Stanford. That's so weird. That's an ACC game, Stanford and Pitt in the first round of the ACC tournament. You got Baylor was just playing Arizona State. So conference tournament is alive and well. And tomorrow night, about 8:30, probably 8:45, 8:50 Pacific time, 9:30 plus later in Boise, Mountain West Network. And by the way, I'm still working on it, Jay, because this is a Mountain West Network game. I'm talking to the company that we do our broadcast through. I don't think we could do any kind of commentating, but I think there's a chance I could pull the simulcast on the Mountain West Network here on BNN tomorrow night. So I am working on that. Stay tuned, folks. You might be able to chat with folks in the chat and watch the game through the BNN stream. We're waiting to hear back if the league was willing to give them the tournament games tomorrow for the first round. Usually not used to this, Jay. It's been a while since we've had to worry about Mountain West Network and playing on Wednesday. for Boise State. They haven't been worse than the 5 seed, I think, once or twice in the last 6-7 years. With that said, Jay, somebody said, oh, I don't trust Leon. It's going to be the same as it always is in this tournament. And I was like, you know what? Like, they've actually been pretty good in this tournament lately. I went back and looked, as you know, but the last 4 years, they're 6-3 in the Mountain West tournament. They've gotten to the championship game twice in the last 4 years. They've won at least one game 3 of the last 4 years. And you push it back even further, Jay, 7 seasons. The last 7 seasons, they're 8-6 in the Mountain West tournament. They're better than 500 record in the last 7 years in this tournament. They've won this tournament. They've been to the championship game a couple of times. So I know early on, especially, Jay, when I started covering this team, they had a lot of 2-7 upsets, 3-6 upsets. They lost, in the first round, in the quarterfinals, hadn't made it to the semis a number of times. And I guess if you want to kind of keep that and maybe go, okay, Leon's been here in the Mountain West, 15 years? They've won this tournament one time. Like, you can point to some stats if you're a naysayer or detractor, but I would point to the last 7 years, and in particular the last 4 years, that they've kind of put some of those conference tournament struggles behind them.
Yeah, they've been pretty competitive down here. Like, that's such an old storyline, man. Like, I really do feel like that's kind of an old storyline. It like probably you're looking at 6-7 years ago where maybe they would come down here and fail.
By the way, dude, I'm sweating and it's hot, and this Sun Cruiser is really looking good right now. I'm doing my best to leave it over there. It's water.
I think we're up to three sweat updates, bud.
Yeah, I will not be wearing long sleeves for tomorrow's show. I can tell you that, man. It is way warmer than I thought, and when you're not moving and the sun is just pounding on you, it is.
Yeah, it looks like we're going across 70 degrees right now.
It's probably 68, 69. It's probably not nearly as hot, but when you're not moving and I'm not exactly in the best physical shape here. I mean, this is This is a pretty thin. I thought a little nice thin layer, I'd be okay.
You need to talk to the Bronco Nation News apparel person.
Yeah. All right. Sorry for cutting you off, but it is. Let's just say it is a little warmer than I was expecting here. Luckily, we're almost done.
I expect the Broncos to come down here and play well. I do. Maybe that's I don't know, unrealistic considering the season has been a little up and down, but the way that they have played these last few games, the way that Drew Fielder is playing, the way that Dylan Andrews is playing, like it's almost like in baseball, BJ, where if you get off to a bad start in the first 6 weeks of the season and you're hitting 180, it takes so long for you to hit 320 for it to make your season average look like it's respectable. But in reality, you could be hitting 320 for a month and a half and still only be hitting 240 for the season or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And I just bring that up because you look at Dylan Andrews, man. And do you know what Dylan Andrews' field goal percentage is since February 1st?
Probably about 50%.
50.5%.
How about that? There you go. Wow.
Since February 1st. So, we're working on the last almost month and a half now. He's averaging 17.1 points per game. He's shooting 50.5% from the field, over 34% from three, and almost 92% from the free throw line on a pretty big volume of free throws. And did I mention 3.2 assists as well? And Drew Fielder, over that same span, I think he's averaging over 19 points per game. Those two guys are playing at a really, really high level over the last 40 some odd days.
And I was just going to say, Jay, that All Mountain West team comes out in about 18 minutes. I may stall and be on here still. I'm not going to ask you to stay on here for that, but I was one of the voters this year for the Boise market, and I don't think he's going to get it, but I actually, and people will say this is a homer pick, whatever, but when I looked at the numbers and I looked at what he had done and I looked how he finished to help Boise State finish, I actually had Drew Fielder as my 5th player on the first team. I had Drew Fielder as a first-team All-Mountain West player. I don't know if he's going to get there. I'm guessing he'll be second because I've seen some other people put their ballots out, and they have him third team. He's getting a lot of third-team love. I think he passed Bouillon in my mind from New Mexico with what he did. A lot of people still have Bouillon ahead of him, but I have Drew Fielder first team, and I haven't seen him anywhere on the list, but I've got Dylan Andrews on the third team. I thought he finished really strong. I know the overall numbers maybe aren't equal to some of the guards, but for a team that finished strong, a team that's in the top half of the standings, Dylan Dylan Andrews, I've got as a third-team player. I'm guessing he probably only gets honorable mention because I haven't seen anybody else listing him. But I had Drew Fielder. I had Dylan Andrews third team. So both those guys you're mentioning, I agree with you. I thought ended up being two of the 15 players worthy of the all-conference teams.
Again, when we look at what Dylan did in Mountain West Conference play, almost 13.5 points per game, a tick under 3 assists per game. And then it really, like I said, since the calendar flipped to February, he's I mean, I don't know if I can say he's playing as good as any guard in the league because Gibbs Lawhorn's in the league, and that guy he's almost scored 500 points in Mountain West play.
Yeah.
But again, if you really watch and I can't remember, BJ, you tell me, aren't you supposed to weight Mountain West? Are you supposed to weight Mountain West games more?
Conference standings, yeah. If there's a tie or something or it's close, yes. I mean, you do take the whole season into consideration, but I believe conference should matter in this, which is why I'll be curious how close the voting is. I don't think the Mountain West releases the full voting, but player of the year, Fallslev versus Gibbs Lawhorn for me will be interesting because I went Fallslev just because their team won the first place regular season championship, but it was honestly pretty hard for me. And us two media guys, we like to be right, Jay. I had Mason Fallslev as my preseason player of the year. So, had to justify my own pick there and put in postseason. But in all seriousness, it was so hard, though, because of what he was doing in all the 30-point games he had. But they did finish in 7th place or whatever it is. It was just hard for 8th place. Yeah. It was just hard for me to 8th place, I guess it is. It was just too hard for me to go with him. But he had a heck of a year, man, and I agree with what you said. It's also
wild. It's also wild because if they win one more game, they're probably the 5 seed.
Yeah.
So it's just like to knock him out because they're the 8th seed because, that's –
nobody wants to play him this week. That game tomorrow, that's the first game of the tournament, man. First game of the tournament to kick it off, UNLV and Wyoming. That's going to be a heck of a game. And one of those lines, Jay, that kind of – how it is in sports gambling or just sports in general. You'll see a line that you think you kind of have an idea going in what it would be. And maybe I'm just off on this, but I thought, UNLV would be a solid favorite, that's a game that they should probably, and everyone and their brother is picking them to win that game. And you go to our friends at Ken Palm, and you go to his line for tomorrow's game. He's only got it as a 1-point game. UNLV by 1. UNLV by 1 tomorrow is the Ken Palm number, 80-79 for that one to kick off the tournament.
Wow, that is a little surprising.
Wyoming has won like 5 or 6. They're playing better too.
Yeah.
But final
right
thing
with you.
Before I let you go, Jay, just the matchup tomorrow with San Jose. Both games were pretty similar in the regular season. Boise State, it was kind of close at halftime, and then Boise State kind of imposed their will. San Jose State, sometimes Sada and Ganga is their biggest player on the court at 6'9". They don't have a lot of size. They don't have much at all in terms of bulk on the interior. You would think as they have the first 2 games, Boise State would have a huge edge on the interior. Last game of the day tomorrow night, San Jose's got guys going to the portal. They're ready for their season to be over, but it's one kind of last, dash chance for them to kind of just let it fly. What do you make of the matchup with San Jose tomorrow?
I know we've just gassed up Gibbs Lawhorn, rightfully so, but do you know which player in the Mountain West led the league in 20-point games this year?
If you're asking me, it was probably Colby Garland.
Colby Garland.
Okay.
He is a really efficient scorer. He distributes the basketball. He shoots the lights out of it. And, that's a guy that might keep – I'm not going to say keeps you up at night, but given what's at stake and the fact that you need to make sure that you get through this game ideally. And what I mean by that is we on the outside can talk like this. I know that the players and coaches could care less. But ideally, BJ, is you find a way to build a 25-point lead in this game, and you make sure that none of your starters play more than 25 minutes. And Garland is absolutely talented enough to stress you in doing what you need to do. And a reason why I say that is 4 games in 4 days is going to be a lot, man. And especially if you make it to the semifinals and you're on your 3rd game in 3 days. Meanwhile, you're going up against a team that's just only played the day before. That's it's going to be tough. And so whatever the Broncos can do to save their legs, they don't just need a win. They got to figure out a way to win ideally, I'll say.
I fully expect this game to be close for at least the first half, Jay.
And that's what happened at Boise, man.
Yeah,
like,
it would not shock me if we look up with like 13 minutes to go and they're only up by 3 or 4, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then I would fully expect Boise State to pull away and win this game. But I don't think this is. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Boise State's rolling. Maybe they make a statement and they're up by 15 at halftime or whatever. But I would fully expect Bronco Nation to be a little nervous for a good chunk of this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happened in Boise, and then they put their foot on the gas in the final 15 minutes or whatever.
Eventually, the shots will stop falling for San Jose State, and you'll hopefully use your depth inside and kind of.
But you would like to use. You would like to. I mean, I'll look at the women's tournament, man. It's actually pretty chaotic in the women's tournament because Boise State played New Mexico. Boise State had to play New Mexico, gets the bye. Broncos win that game. San Diego State, the 1 seed, has the bye. Air Force had to play the day before as the 9 seed.
Yep.
San Diego State lost. So, I don't know how much carries over from the women's tournament to the men's tournament, but all I'm saying is that we have seen that play out in the past where the team that can get a little comfortable might be able to make a run.
Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be a huge help next night. Yep.
4 games in 4 days is a ton, especially once you get through that opening round game. I mean, you almost there's like you're not going to have the option to rest guys. So if you can create that opportunity, that's what you gotta go do. But the tournament bracket fell in favor of the Broncos, and I tweeted this out, and I think you'll agree with me here. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Like I'm not predicting like, oh no, now this means they're going to go run and win a title.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if you look at the teams on their half of the bracket, Boise State's 8-1 against those teams, to where they're 4-7 against the teams on the upper half of the bracket. And just looking at that, it fell in favor of the Broncos.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody's feeling great about any conference tournament game, frankly, other than maybe tomorrow. On paper, they had success against New Mexico, sweeping them, went 1-1, and could have won both games against San Diego State. And this time of year, Jay, in the way you're playing, like I don't think it honestly does. I don't know if it really matters. You just throw the ball up and see what happens. And wouldn't it be something, man? I mean, wouldn't it be something? I said it when it happened, but I mean, the year started out with the worst loss in program history, so to speak. If they could go on a run and win this thing and get to March Madness and end this thing with the best win in program history, I mean, it would be a heck of a year. And I mean, you look at it, all the makings. You want to be playing well down the stretch. You want to have some senior leadership. You want to have good guard play. Like all the things you want to have in postseason tournament play. They got to do it on the court, and there's a reason they have the 5th best odds or whatever, Jay. But I mean, from the outside, given how the season went, I don't think you could feel much better about Boise State rolling into this tournament compared to some previous years.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. I'm excited.
What do we got?
Excited to throw the ball up.
What do we got? Bronco Studios, and you're still doing your live shows. You've been doing some special packages and things. How can folks check out all the stuff you get going on down here in Vegas?
Yeah, follow us on our social media platforms for sure, because everything between the games is kind of where we post that. But we will have our regularly scheduled show tomorrow at 4:00 over inside the Thomas and Mack Center. So, I think the other day we got lucky. There were no games going on, so we got to be down by the court, or we could show the court. But on Wednesday, we're probably going to have to be in a little bit more of a discreet location, given the fact there's games going on. But hey, all good. I think you need to be in the team room there with the duct taped free throw line and kind of show us the behind the scenes of what's going on there in the tournament. Come on. You might. I'm not gonna lie. You might see a little bit of that.
All right.
You might see a little bit of that.
Well, we appreciate it, Jay. Thanks for doing this. I know you got a lot of stuff to get back to, so we'll let you go. And the All Mountain West team's going to come out, so I know you'll be all over that. You don't have to tell me, but do you already know it? You probably do.
No.
Oh, they didn't give you the heads up. Wow. Okay. Hey, there's not as much suspense, I feel like, around Boise State's team, though, because I don't think there's any like, oh, is he going to be player of the year? Oh, is he going to be first team? Like, I fully expect Drew Fielder to be second or third team. Either Buchanan or Andrews will probably be second or third team, and that's probably it. I don't think there's a lot of drama. And they're not in contention for any of the individual awards, and I think a lot of those are pretty cut and dry, to be honest. So maybe that's why. I just don't feel like there's a ton of buzz Boise State related, because I don't think we're expecting much.
it doesn't mean I'm not prepared because, like you said, I think that we can all kind of guess. But
Yeah.
I'll be I'll sprint when the time comes in
All right.
8 minutes.
Well, get some work done, Jay. Maybe if you have a free half an hour, you can come over here and I'll buy you a bottle of water at the pool. And we can get ready for this. It's been a long season for you with Bronco Studios, and you need to get some work done and then take a break a little bit today, man.
Sounds good, buddy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, Jay. We'll be watching Boise State Athletics YouTube channel, all the various social media platforms, and, of course, Jay_Tust. Follow him on all of his social platforms. Jay, we appreciate you, man. We'll see you soon.
See you later, bud.
Appreciate Jay for doing this on his on work day. He's got a lot going on. Really nice of Jay to make this happen here. Again, we are live at Stadium Swim, Circa Resort and Casino. The crowd filing in. They've got 6 pools here. This pool is actually closed right now. We're on the top level. Later in the day, when more folks show up, they kind of keep opening more and more of the pools. So the very top level is closed right now. 4 pools are open on the bottom 2 levels. The drinks are flowing. Great spot to get your Sun Cruiser. Haven't opened this one yet, but we'll see maybe later today. Sun Cruiser, we appreciate them. That they're a great sponsor of ours, our studio sponsor. Sun Cruiser, whether it's the lemonade vodka, whether it's the lemonade iced tea, all the various flavors, pick up a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. All right, a couple things I wanted to mention. Get your score predictions in. Get your comments in. We're going to wait 5 minutes and give you the all-conference team when it comes out here. But I also wanted to mention today, 3 o'clock back in Boise, the Idaho Senate Education Committee is going to hold a hearing on Senate Bill 1357. This is the bill that aims to cap international scholarships for student athletes. They did change the bill a little bit. They took off a provision that would cap the football team at 5% of international players. They did take that out of there. So Boise State with 8 football players right now that are international would be okay. I believe it also grandfathers in international student athletes that are already here. They won't count against the cap. So it's not like they would have to kick off 3 players from, the tennis team or something to get under the cap. They would not have to do that. They would have to limit. There is it does not impact scholarships before July 1st, 2026. Moving forward is when this would change. But it's very interesting because, remember, it's 10% of a cap. The bill would put a cap at 10% on the number of international student athletes that a school can award scholarships to, and it's 50% per team. Now, if you remember, we were doing some research, reading about this. The gentleman, I don't remember his name, that put the bill, that created this bill. First of all, he went to Nevada. He also, I don't even think, was born in Idaho. I think he was born in Arizona. He was researching schools for his son or daughter to play tennis, college tennis. They were looking at schools, and they found out that the University of Idaho has a completely international tennis team. And that kind of got this gentleman thinking that's not fair, and he wanted to put a bill together that gives, I guess, more priority to United States students and in particular Idaho student athletes to get a chance to play and get on scholarship at Idaho colleges. So I know Boise State is against this. They obviously think that, don't want to have to limit who they can recruit from a competitive advantage. You want to have a full constitute of players. If other states aren't doing this, then Boise State can only recruit a certain number of athletes internationally. Basketball, I think, is an international thing that you're starting to see around the country more and more. Boise State has 3, I believe, international students on the basketball team, 2 from Canada, and then you have NATO. I think you could see them target more international players in the future. But we mentioned the 8 on the football team. It's very interesting, this bill and what it would potentially do in terms of limiting the competitive advantage that Boise State would not be able to have. And I don't think in football and in men's basketball, like if they say we need another guy, they would find a way to get another guy. But I really think, this would really hurt some of the smaller sports that do recruit internationally a lot. They're not going to be able to recruit internationally nearly as much. And again, it's a 50% cap on international scholarships per team, 10% max for the schools. And I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I know Boise State's definitely against it, and I'm not out here to promote this for Boise State or give their point of view or side on things, but I can understand why they wouldn't like this. Certainly as a competitive disadvantage for them if other schools are able to recruit more international players than them. If they think the best player is international and that's the player they want, they shouldn't have to worry about any kind of cap. They should be able to get him. And I know part of the bill, and then the guy that wrote it, is he wants to keep, he says all these international people just leave when they're done playing. They want to try to have folks come to Idaho, stay in Idaho, get jobs, help the economy, help the state. Go ask Nick Duncan. Go ask Elliot Hoyt. I mean, there's plenty of international students that have come to Boise State from other countries and have stayed in the Treasure Valley, stayed in the area. I think that part is a bunch of hogwash when it comes to the reason behind the bill and wanting to give more opportunities and not have these folks come in, take scholarships, and then leave right away. I mean, sure, that does happen, but it goes the other way as well. So I believe there is you can talk to your state legislature. You can submit a written comment. You can say support or not support. There's a link on the Senate Education Committee website. Google the Idaho Senate Education Committee website. You can do all that. There's a way you can give your thoughts on the bill. Do you like it, not like it? Call your legislature. Go online. If you are opposed to this bill, if you're for this bill, let folks know. Let the state of Idaho and the legislature know what you think on this bid. I'm glad they got rid of the football cap. I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to read my screen because of the sunlight. So let's see. Mark is watching from Vegas. Appreciate you, Mark. 22 team had Akot, Kijab, Armush, Kuzmanovic. Why add another variable to limit ourselves when this state doesn't support as much of others with money? Yeah, totally agree. I don't know why you would put the state schools in Idaho at a disadvantage more than other schools. And it is a bad look when the guy says openly the reason he started this bill or looked into it was because he was looking at colleges for his kid to play tennis and realized the Idaho tennis team had an entirely international roster. The best players, the best student athletes should get the scholarships. I don't think it should matter personally what state you're from. If you feel differently, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but just seems like a weird bill. There's so many other more important things to worry about right now. And it just seems like a weird bill to really be focused on. And again, 3:00 today is the hearing. Pay attention to that at the hearing. That is the hearing is at 3:00 today, I believe. And you can follow that online. That may be public, but that is 3:00 back in Boise today. All right, I am waiting for the all Mountain West team to come out here. If anybody has seen it, it's 12:01. I was told it was at 12, so we'll see here if the league has sent this out. I'm on my wrong email. Let me switch over here. Apologize for this, folks. All right, this is where it would be coming, and I don't see it yet. So we will stick out for a couple more minutes. If you have any score predictions, any thoughts, let us know. I saw somebody say $100 if I cannonball into the pool. Maybe Friday. If Boise State wins the next two games and they're still playing on Friday, maybe we can get Nathan to do that or something. It'd have to be more than $100 for me to consider cannonballing into the pool, unless I could, I guess, keep my shirt on. I don't think any of you need to see me shirtless, but if the bet includes me just getting in, and I don't have to worry about anything else, I might consider that at some point. We'll see. But again, Circa Resort and Casino, unbelievable place here. I mean, you look at this place, just unbelievable. They've got the different pools. There's the one pool right here on this level. They've got the different cabanas and things. So many different options. And there's 6 pools. We're on the high level here. There's another pool. There's some folks walking in. Another pool on that side. You got the various levels and things. Cabanas, day beds, water couches, all kinds of options and things that you can get to stay here. And it truly is an unbelievable spot here at Circa Resort and Casino. So you folks need to, if you haven't been here, come check it out for the Mountain West Tournament. If you're not staying at Circa, you can pay like $25 just to come in here and hang out and go to the pool. So if you're looking to come see Stadium Swim, watch some games, you don't have to stay at Circa. One kind of trick around this is you can stay at the D. The D Las Vegas, right down the street here on Fremont Street, they're also owned by Derek Stevens. If you stay at the D, you do get free entry into the pool here. So if you're unable to, Circa's a nice place, but it is a little bit pricey. If you're looking for a little cheaper Vegas stay at the D down the street, and then you can still get into Stadium Swim for free. But if you are staying somewhere else, it's like $25. You just get entry into the pool, then you can have fun all day, watch games, hang out, and it truly is an unbelievable spot. The steakhouse here, Barry's, hope to go to that tonight. Best meal I've ever had, and I'm not just saying that. It is a tremendous steakhouse here. Everything about this place is awesome. So get out to Circa for your next trip here. You're going to get a Genty interview. Probably not. I don't even know if he's in Las Vegas, to be honest. Cracking that Sun Cruiser open. Too nice outside not to. I will this afternoon. It's been sitting for an hour, and it's not cold anymore. So this one I probably will not. Maybe I'll trade it in. But it's been sitting for an hour, and it's not cold anymore. But it is the perfect beverage to have sitting by the pool. So once we're done here with the show and we get the all-conference team posted, and Nathan's got a story in the hopper I'm going to post back up in the room, maybe in like an hour or so, we'll come back down and watch some of these games and have a Sun Cruiser or two if we get a little time this afternoon. But somebody earlier said they'd buy me a beer at Circa tonight. You don't have to do that. I'll buy you a beer. But reach out to me on email, rains@bronconationnews.com. Send me a DM on Twitter @BJRains. I'm not a big Instagram guy, but I do have Instagram. But reach out. Let me know if you're coming around Circa. I would love to meet a lot of you. We'll be around today. Tomorrow we'll be around in the afternoon. We are doing our show live at 11 a.m. Pacific time the rest of the week, guys. Sorry for the starting late today and not telling you guys, and no show yesterday because I was flying. But because Boise State is playing so late at night every night this week, we just decided to push the shows back. So we'll be at noon Mountain Time every day this week. So hopefully you're on lunch. You can watch us. But noon Mountain Time. Then I think the games start at 1 tomorrow and Thursday Mountain Time. So we'll take you right up to tip-off tomorrow and Thursday and then Friday. So noon shows the rest of the week. Noon shows all week. Tell your friends. Noon Mountain Time here on Bronco Nation News. All right, the All-Mountain West team is out. The first team is Henley from Grand Canyon, Camper from Nevada, Jake Hall from New Mexico. That surprises me a little bit. Gibbs Lawhorn from UNLV and Falslev for Utah State. Drew Fielder is a second team for Drew Fielder, and he's listed first, so he must have been sixth overall, it looks like, if that's how they did it. I don't know, but Drew Fielder, it might be alphabetical order, actually, for the schools. Drew Fielder, second team. Elijah Price, Nevada, second team. Thomas Bouillon, second team, New Mexico. Dixon Waters, second team, San Diego State. MJ Collins, Utah State, second team. Then your third team is Jevin Muniz, Colorado State. Jake Highbreeder from Fresno. Makai Williams, Grand Canyon. Miles Bird, San Diego State. And Colby Garland, Boise State. We'll see him tomorrow night. We were talking about him earlier. One of the best scorers in the conference, third team guard. And that tells you a lot about Colby Garland, folks, that he still made third team despite being on the 11th place team that won like 3 conference games. Usually you don't put a player on unless they're very, very deserving from a team that bad. So I did vote for RJ Keene for the all-defensive team. He did not get on it. Owasu Anane from Grand Canyon, Elijah Price, Miles Bird, Tyron Jones, and Mason Foslev is your all-defensive team. Dylan Andrews and Javen Buchanan both are honorable mention selections, but neither guy gets on the team there. So Drew Fielder, second team. Dylan Andrews, Javen Buchanan get honorable mention, and that's it for Boise State. Mason Foslev is your player of the year, Utah State. Miles Bird, your defensive player of the year. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, UNLV, is your newcomer of the year. The freshman of the year is Jake Hall at New Mexico. The sixth man of the year is Carson Templin at Utah State. And your coach of the year is Jared Calhoun at Utah State. So I actually had the entire superlatives. Player of the year, I voted for Foslev. I voted for Miles Bird, defensive player of the year. Gibbs Lawhorn, newcomer of the year. Carson Templin, sixth man. Jake Hall, freshman of the year. And Jared Calhoun. I was 6 for 6. All 6 of those I voted for, and they won. But again, second team for Drew Fielder. Honorable mention for Andrews and Buchanan. And again, your first team, Corey Camper, Nevada. Jaden Henley, Grand Canyon. Jake Hall, New Mexico. Dre, Gibbs, Lawhorn, UNLV, Mason, Foslev. And really the only reason Drew Fielder didn't get it is because Jake Hall got it. They gave it to another guard, 5 guards on the first team. Typically you have to have a team that can kind of play together. You need some big man on there, but they went 5 guards on the first team. Drew Fielder is second team All Mountain West. I can't really complain about that. You know, he didn't have the greatest start to the year, but overall, no huge complaints. But I don't know if anybody, right now wants to play against what Drew Fielder's doing or play against, Andrews and Buchanan in this team. So second team for Drew Fielder. Not bad for one of your portal additions of the year. So appreciate you guys for checking us out. Hour and 10 minutes. My laptop's about to die. That's going to wrap it up for today's show. Go subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. 50% off our annual rate right now for a Mountain West tournament special. 50% off. Jump in now. Get all of our spring football coverage. Perfect time to become a paid member at BroncoNationNews.com. All of our exclusive behind the paywall content from down here. Mike Prater columns, Nathan, Chris Van Sickle, all kinds of coverage. It's like $6 a month, folks. Go subscribe right now. BroncoNationNews.com. Help support our efforts. Heck, help pay for our Sun Cruisers. Kidding on that, but our travel wasn't cheap down here. Nathan Carroll will be here tomorrow. He's flying down today. We're paying for 2 folks for Bronco Nation News to be down here. So help return the favor. Subscribe if you can. BroncoNationNews.com. And again, all kinds of coverage coming for the rest of this week and then spring ball when it gets going here in the near future. So having a great time. Thanks to Sun Cruiser. Thanks to all of our great major sponsors. Idaho Central Credit Union. Check them out. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. We have Idaho Central Credit Union. Taco Bell. Go get those Crunchy Chicken Cantina tacos. We appreciate Taco Bell for their support of Bronco Nation News. Love Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. Go visit one today. Of course, the Blue and Orange Store. Online, the blueandorangestore.com. Get your Boise State gear for the tournament. Get it at the Blue and Orange Store. And, of course, Jackson's. Get out to Jackson's. Get that 99-cent coffee day or night from our friends at Jackson's. We appreciate them for their support. All of our major sponsors, get out to support them, Signature Roofing, and, of course, our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. Couldn't do this show without Lithia Ford of Boise. Your next new or pre-owned vehicle, get out to Lithia Ford of Boise. And shout out to Thad Oldridge, Jen Oldridge, the whole family, friends of ours. They bought 2, not 1, but 2 new vehicles in like a 24-hour span at Lithia Ford of Boise. They bought one for their kid. Love the experience so much and the customer service and the sale price. They came back the next day and got another one. So Lithia Ford of Boise, our title sponsor, we appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. I'm seeing some lag on the computer here. It's about to overheat, so we're going to end the show. Go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. And again, noon. We'll see you at noon tomorrow, getting you set for the opening round of the Mountain West Tournament. Can Boise State make a run? Hopefully so. Bronco Nation News on location. Circa Resort and Casino will be here all week. Come hang out with us and have some fun, and we'll see you at noon tomorrow. Bronco Nation News live here in Las Vegas. Stadium Swim, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care, everybody.